running through weeks, and I think we'll be concluding around 5th December. And every day we'll have presentations by different cabinet ministers who will be, who are our political leaders, and they will be here to share with you the different performances within their respective entities which they lead. And they will also be supported by the heads of departments and heads of agencies that respectively under them. We have a program running, and maybe I request the media to publish these programs for the interest of the public, so that whoever is interested can come in and listen and also appreciate how far we have gone. The methodology used here is that this will not be a public rally or a baraza, but this is media interactive. We have decided to use you, our partners, as media through you, because our main message is communication and popularization of these achievements. So we expect you to partner with us, one, to pick the message in the right way, and also to popularize it to the farthest extent possible, so that our citizens are able to appreciate the information as given. Fortunately, the people in charge of the respective implementation will be here to share with us their stories. On our part, as the unit which is responsible for monitoring, we'll also be giving our side of assessment in as far as how far we have gone, and that will also give the opportunity the implementers to share with us on how far we have gone. And this is not stopping with us as a country, but it will be shared globally. I believe even somebody in the White House can put on his YouTube or her YouTube and be able to see that here in Uganda, the ministers are presenting how far we have gone on our manifesto. So it's quite a very, very important activity that should not be taken lightly. We want to thank the media who have partnered with us in this cause, and I also want to announce that this will be streamed live on UBC and the NBS, so wherever you are, and it will also be streamlined on YouTube. So we'll be giving out the link for purposes of following, so that wherever you are, you can enjoy the comfort of watching and be able to follow, and then you can also make your comments, which can be picked on our addresses, and then we'll see how they can also be answered. As I conclude, allow me now to introduce to you the team that I work with you, Honorable Minister, and your team that I work with at the Manifesto Implementation Unit. I want to introduce Mr. Fred Kamjira, who is my Deputy Director, who is already here with us. I don't know where the other members. Who is Gloria? David is already here. Thanks for being here. That one is an economist, and I think the others are busy with some of the activities. Yes, Gloria, stand up again. This is our Principal Administrator who is here. So with those few remarks, I want to thank you, especially our partners, the media, who have been able to come in such big numbers, so that our Assistant Director, Mr. Bakoja, so you are most welcome. Honorable Minister and your team, you will make your presentation, and then after that you will spare some time to have a Q&A, of which it is important that you make clarifications in the minds of these people who disseminate on behalf of our citizens, but also who are also our mediums through which we give information to disseminate. And that will take a few minutes. I'll make some remarks on that, and then we invite the session of Q&A, and then that is cleared. And lastly will be a photo opportunity with you as we say bye. With those few remarks, allow me now to take this pleasure and honor to invite you, Honorable Minister, to come and make a presentation on the status of performance in the Ministry of Energy and Minerals. I submit. I thank you for listening to me. Thank you very much.
Mr. Willis Bashasha, the Director, Manifesto Implementation Unit, together with the entire team at the Manifesto Implementation Unit Office of the President, all commissioners present together with your teams. I'll introduce my team shortly. The representatives from State House, but also our fourth estate that is here today. We are delighted as the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development to be delivering accountability as part of the government's initiative to ensure transparency and accountability in government projects. I want to start by bringing apologies from my ministerial team. Mr. Bashasha, the Honorable Minister, is leading a delegation at COP29 in Baku, Azerbaijan, where she's putting up a spirited fight for our energy transition agenda, but also the oil and gas projects. And of course, the Honorable Kasai, who's the Minister of State for Energy, is receiving the President who's visiting Kumi District today. And our Honorable Minister of State for Mineral Development, the Honorable Fiona Nyamtoro, is away on duty to Tanzania. So we have the honor of standing in very big shoes of our ministerial team, and I'm accompanied, thank you, I'm accompanied by a formidable team of my commissioners. I'll start by introducing the commissioner in charge of rural electrification development, Engineer Atwine Abdon. Please stand up. So Engineer Abdon ensures all rural areas are electrified. I also want to use this opportunity to introduce our Commissioner for Mines Department, Madame Agnes Alaba, who's ensuring we develop our mines sustainably. I also want to use the opportunity to introduce the Commissioner in charge of geothermal, Mr. Godfrey Bahati. He's ensuring we exploit our geothermal resources in Panimur and Kiviro in Chikove district. Allow me introduce our project coordinator, but also our principal geophysicist, via rare, Dr. Isaiah Tumwichvize, who's leading our portfolio in Karamoja and ensuring we discover additional minerals in Karamoja. Mr. Bashasha and your team, you will note that we are the first ministry to present, so we are excited for setting the pace for this year's presentation of the performance of the NRM Manifesto. As the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, we have the privilege of implementing 3 programs under our National Development Plan 3. We lead a program on the sustainable energy development, where we implement this alongside many other entities under the programmatic approach, including our agencies. We also lead on the implementation of the Mineral Development Program under the NDP3 and the Sustainable Development of Petroleum Resources. 3 programs. And as we enter NDP4, we've consolidated 2 of the programs into one. So we'll be having the Sustainable Energy Development Program and the Extractives Program as we enter NDP4 that will combine minerals and petroleum. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to start with the presentation on the performance of the Sustainable Energy Development Program, where we made a number of pledges, about 9 of them in the NRM Manifesto 2021 running into 2026. Now, under the Sustainable Energy Development Program, overall and overarching, our objective is to ensure that we increase access, but also ensure reliable supply of electricity, and Ugandans can use it for productive uses to ensure their socio-economic transformation. Right at the top, we did make a significant pledge as the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development to reduce the cost of power. majorly to support industrialists and also small and medium enterprises, and now adding to this the parish development model. Now, before I get into the status of this particular pledge, it's always important to remind all of us what the key drivers of the tariffs are. Largely, it's how we invest in the generation, what we call our upstream for power, whereas the contribution to this tariff is about 70%. So as the government, we continue to ensure that we are investing using what we call patient capital or concessional financing, so that the cost of investment in our power dams leads to more competitive generation tariffs. We've seen that now with Isimba and Karuma, where we are now fetching a generation tariff of 4.1 US cents per kilowatt hour at Isimba and 4.9 US cents per kilowatt hour at Karuma. But of course, you then pull all of this into a pool of generated capacity, including all the other existing power plants, to arrive at your different effective tariffs. So as the government, we are committed to continue addressing the issue of how we invest in our generation capacity. The other key driver is what we call the energy losses as you transmit, and we continue to ensure that through our transmission and distribution, we continue of course, addressing issues of rehabilitation, but also growth in our transmission and distribution capacity. There will be other smaller drivers, but these are the key drivers: how we invest in the generation and our energy losses. And at the end, of course, we also have theft of our electricity that we continue to address actively. Therefore, when it comes to the pledge we made to reduce the cost of power, I'll request the presenter to take us to slide 6. You'll just run quickly to slide 6. The cost of power, you will note that at the start of the NRA manifesto, we were given a target of achieving 5 US cents per kilowatt hour, especially for industrialists. And we are happy to report that we have achieved this target for the extra large industries, those who consume above 1.5 megawatts, and this is at off-peak. That is from midnight to 6 a.m. So we encourage the extra large industries to utilize that band of time from midnight to 6 a.m. to ensure that they benefit from this competitive tariff. We continue to work to bring down further this tariff, and for the large industries and those who are willing to increase production capacity to maintain their monthly bill without affecting the financial sustainability of the electricity supply industry, we are also assessing that, because we effected that, and we have piloted with 2 industrial parks, Kapeka and another in Mbale, and we continue to encourage the industrialists to grow their production to be able to fit within this requirement. As part of this pledge, in order to bring down the cost, we also committed putting in place mechanisms to support direct purchase of electricity. Instead of going through the transmission company, etc., industrialists should be able to pick power directly from the generator, because that way you access the power at the generation tariff or about. And this, we have gone ahead to put in place the legal and regulatory framework emanating from the Electricity Amendment Act of 2022, and we have so far supported Nile Breweries that is directly purchasing power from Munyenye Solar Company, and we are now working to support a number of, they are called data mining company, cryptocurrency, that want to set up in the environs of Karuma hydropower plant to be able to directly tap into power from Karuma. And for that, we've supported companies like Zurong and a few others. And they're in the process of going through the rigors of obtaining their power purchase agreements, and we expect that they should set up and also benefit from this. So we'll continue supporting companies to the extent that is possible and within the limitations of our targeted tariffs to be able to benefit from that. We haven't only focused on the industrialists. We are also cognizant of the rest of us, the Ugandans who might not be industrialists, and that's why we introduced a preferential cooking tariff for those who would want to cook using electricity. But also it's part of our energy transition plan, how we support more Ugandans to move to cleaner sources of electricity away from biomass, where we are where 80% of us are depending on biomass, and we are cutting down our forest cover, and the rate of deforestation currently is higher than afforestation. So we are keen under our energy transition, but also energy policy, to support this. So this cooking tariff, we want to encourage Ugandans to benefit from it. We levy at about Ugandan shillings 412 per kilowatt hour that is charged after consuming the first 80 units and before your 150th unit. We are happy to discuss this further for you to appreciate it, but usually it's best to try it out so that you assess this tariff. Now, there are other interventions we have introduced, and those I will leave for your noting in that presentation, including a hybrid connection scheme just before we launched the World Bank Electricity Access Scale-Up